All right, so for those of you that are now joining us, welcome to Benchmark Emails webinar here today. Um, in this webinar, we're going to talk about multi-channel engagement. As we all know, we're obviously going to focus on email and SMS. And as we all know, everyone pretty much has a smartphone. I believe the stat last time I saw was like 90%, especially here in countries like the US and other regions over in Europe and so forth. Well-developed countries, pretty much everyone has a smartphone in their pocket. So one of the things is you can reach them there, but there's various ways that we can get around having to try to contact your subscribers or engage with them through the same channel. It makes a big difference when you engage with them through various channels, even if it's going through the same device. So in this webinar here today, we're going to go over how you can best use email and SMS together. We're going to focus on three main ways that you can do this. And please, if you have any questions whatsoever, you'll notice there on your GoToWebinar control panel, there is a box to ask questions. You can go ahead and type in your question there, and we will try to answer your questions along the way. If for whatever reason you notice that we don't get to your question right away, please don't worry about it. We're not going to skip it. We're not ignoring you. We will be getting to that question later on within the webinar. So I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay and can see the screen. It's happened before to where we've started this whole webinar, and halfway through we realized either the screen wasn't on or the audio wasn't working. So yeah, just to triple check in your question box, if you can hear and see the screen, please go ahead and say yes, I can, just to make sure that everything is working properly here. I see my audio bar is going up and down, so the audio should be working, but you never know. You always want to triple check. And the screen, okay, perfect. We're getting a lot of answers here. Beautiful. I like to see this. All right. Very nice. Beautiful. Some great comments as well. Thank you very much, Brittany. That's very kind of you. Oh, I got an active crowd today. I like this. Okay, perfect. So let's get started. This webinar should be pretty short. I'm expecting it to be no longer than, we could go up until an hour when it comes down to questions. But we should be finished here in about 20 minutes, 30 to the most. So let's go ahead and let's get started. All right. Here we go. All right. So a little bit about myself. My name is Daniel Miller. I am the marketing director for Benchmark Email. I've been with the company for a little over 6 years now. I started with them when we were, very small. I want to say it was about 20 of us in an office here in Los Alamitos. And I've been with the company in this whole time, and we've grown to now over to 9 languages and 15 different countries. It's been a killer journey. I started as a support rep and moved through pretty much every department here. And I found marketing as a newborn passion for me. And it was kind of like helping all these other companies with their marketing and their emails really kind of taught me a lot. And now to be in the position of marketing, it's kind of like it's an inception position because I'm helping marketing with marketing companies. It's quite funny. But anyway, I grew up in Spain. If anyone gets the chance, I highly recommend to go to Spain. It is such a beautiful country. Go to the south of Spain, by the way. Everyone goes to Madrid and Barcelona, but you go to the south of Spain, I feel there's more of the true Spanish culture down there. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about the webinar. So please feel free to use the hashtag BenchmarkMobile. This hashtag, if everyone starts to use it, we may start a conversation online. Again, the conversation doesn't end here. This is the beauty about social media, is that once a webinar or once a meeting, an event is done, the conversation can continue for days, for weeks, for months online. We see how the internet gets broken every time, right? By things that get published. So if we can break the internet with this, that would be amazing. Anyway. So to get started, I want to go over a few stats, all right? So SMS, all right? Let's talk a little bit about this. SMS has been something that's been around for quite a while. I'm actually never going to forget, like, when I learned about SMS, I was like, what? You don't have to call someone? You just text them, like, even a voicemail, but, like, it's a transcript? Like, how does that work? It was very, very mind-boggling, and through a mobile device. And of course, the pricing was very interesting for me at that time. But what we see here is that text messages have a 97% open rate within 3 seconds or less. All right. 97% of Americans use SMS at least once a day. Of course, a lot of us, that's a very small amount. I can't tell you how much I text. And 80% of people are currently using texting for business. All right. Now, a few kind of rebuttals for these stats. This is very important. Is that a lot of people don't like to receive text messages right off the bat. It's kind of intrusive in some ways. Meaning, like, if I just went to your restaurant and you send me a text message right away, I may feel a little bit intrusive, or I may feel like, whoa, what's going on here? It's always good to always ask for permission for this kind of stuff. If you have a restaurant, if you have a store that you decide to do texting with, always make sure, if you ask for a phone number, be sure to state what that phone number is for. Because if I get a text from you and I'm not aware of it, I'm probably going to be a little hesitant about that. But if I'm well aware and I'm giving you that phone number for that reason, I may get excited when I get that text message, right? So a little bit about email. Over 68% of adults in the U.S. own a smartphone. I think that number is probably a little higher than that, especially here in the U.S. I guess it's focused on adults, so I guess that would make more sense. 44% of email recipients made at least one purchase last year based on a promotional email. The return on investment, this is the one thing that email marketing stands out from any other marketing channel. For every dollar you spent, 40 is expected to come back. All right. So we do offer a separate webinar that explains more about the return on investment for email marketing, specifically how to get to that 40 to 1. But it is a true deal there. And you may think, well, wait a second, I get all these emails in my inbox and I've never bought anything. Well, that's all right. But guess what? When you normally buy one thing off of one email, you've normally you as a person may have paid for that person's email marketing for a few months, because it's so cost effective. It's so affordable. For Benchmark Email, we have plans here that start at $11.95 with unlimited sending. So you can imagine, if you have unlimited sending and you start sending out those emails and you get one purchase, $11.95. If your product is $20, one client can pay for your email marketing for 2 months. So that's why the return on investment is so high there. Now, a few kind of side notes on email marketing. In comparison to SMS, it's not as intrusive, meaning a lot of people have notifications set up differently on their mobile devices when it comes down to emails. It's not that ding that comes up that makes you want to pull out your phone right away. It may just vibrate or may not do anything, and then you can check that later on. So think of that when you're merging both marketing channels at the same time. You may want to start off with email and then kind of bring texting in later on. And actually, here in a few of the examples, we're going to go over moments that you may want to use email first and moments that you're going to use texting first, because it just makes sense based on how the journey is going, right? So, Tim Ferriss, I'm a poker player. I don't know about you guys, but aside from an entrepreneur, angel investor, and public speaker, he is a pretty good poker player. One of the quotes that he said recently was, "Some people insist that email is dead for younger generations," and they're absolutely right, until those people get jobs. It's quite a funny quote, and it's absolutely true. When it comes down to it, especially the younger generation, they're on so many platforms. If you think about how many different ways people have to communicate, I mean, let's just talk about the social ones, right? And let's talk about the main ones. There's over like 300 social channels out there. People nowadays, there's a lot of people that have a blog, so they communicate themselves through a blog, whether it's like on a WordPress device, on Tumblr, whatever that could be. They also communicate through Facebook. And believe it or not, let's make everyone feel old here. For the younger generation, kids that are in high school now, they say Facebook is for their parents. They don't like using Facebook. They say it's outdated. Think of that, right? So anyway, they have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have Snapchat, they have Vine, they have email, they have WhatsApp, they have, there's so many platforms out there. LinkedIn. There's even social channels and ways of communicating now with money. There's apps like Venmo that I can transfer money from one person to the other and leave a comment about it, and people can like it or comment on that. It's a really interesting place where we're at now, that just to say one thing, we have probably 1,000 different ways to communicate that one thing to whoever we want, and it's I think it's amazing. I think it's really good because you get a different sense and you're able to create kind of like a a different you're able to in a way express yourself in a very different way through various channels, and I think I really like that because one channel, let's say texting, you may not be able to express the color or the movement that you can through, let's say, a Snapchat or through a Vine, or the audience. You may not be able to get that experience with a text message or with an email as you could with like a Snap or a Vine or a Facebook post and so forth. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about email and SMS combined. All right. Nearly 40%, no, nearly 46% of consumers indicate that email is an effective trigger to promote communication. Now, what this means is when they compared email versus all the other channels, 46% of people said that they prefer receiving emails. 61% of parents text adult children, and 39% email their children. Um, Sorry, I think the adult there is that's a typo. That should not be there. It should be the text their children. 61% of adults text their children. I think that's what that was. Sorry about that. And that's true. 39% email their children, and we all know that most of those emails are promotional emails. It's rare that it's not rare, but I think it's more common for a parent to forward an email to their children saying, "Hey, check out this new whatever," or "Hey, your school just sent me this. What's this about?" So, think of that as well when it comes down to email marketing, that your email may be forwarded. All right. So think of the content and think of when that email is being forwarded. Is it going to make sense to the person that it was forwarded to? Oh, did the screen just cut out? Oh, there we go. We're back. Perfect. Now, on the other hand, over 68% of adults have a smartphone that receives SMS and emails. That's a combination of both. Again, these are the smartphone eras. Aside from SMS and emails, there's multiple other apps that they may be using. And of course, you can improve your customer experience by 20% and increase sales by 15% by having a 360 customer journey. What that means is by understanding your audience, understanding how they like to receive messages from you, and accommodating to that. You see a lot of celebrities that are moving over to these other channels because of that same factor right there. When it comes down to it, there's even like President Obama. He got on Twitter and he's gone through Snapchat and he's even done Vine videos and he's done YouTube because he understands that there is a new generation that's coming in and he needs to accommodate to that and he needs to reach those people. And if he just stays on TV, there's a lot of people that don't even watch TV because they got Hulu, they got HBO Now, they got all these other platforms that TV doesn't get to them. So it's very important to understand your audience. I'm not saying get on every single channel possible. What I'm saying is understand your audience and accommodate to what it is that the channels that they're on, and make sure your message makes sense on that channel. The same TV commercial on TV may not make sense on YouTube. You may want to change that, make it totally different. All right? So, what is your audience preferred channel? We've been talking a lot about this, and really the biggest thing is empower that. Don't be afraid to try new things. It's okay to make mistakes. That saying of there is no such thing as bad marketing, that is absolutely true. What was it? Something very interesting. I mean, this is kind of like a side note here, but I just read the other day that Spotify, the music app that allows you to stream music for free and for paid services, has had a tremendous increase in user base since Apple Music went live. And you may think when Apple Music went live and all the talk and hype that it got about how it was going to destroy Spotify, in a way, for Spotify, that was bad advertising, right? Because they're showing, a better product, it's more integrated, this and that. But on the contrary, it gave Spotify way more users because I guess people were not they weren't too familiar, or maybe they didn't like, or maybe the music choices and preferences were just better. So again, don't be afraid to do things. And the biggest thing that I can say is always focus on your business. Focus on what you do best. Use marketing as just a way to express what you do best. Don't try to become a marketing guru, if that makes sense. You can hire a marketing guru to help you express whatever it is that your company wants to, okay? So let's talk about one of the scenarios here that we have, which are operations, all right? One of the ways that I'm sure we've all experienced this, you go to a restaurant, there's a line that's out the door, a 45-minute wait, and you get to the front desk, and instead of just asking for your name, they ask for your phone number. And at least for me, when the first time that I asked my phone number, I told the front desk, I was like, oh, so soon? I mean, don't we start with a name? We get to know each other, a drink, then you give me your phone number? But beyond, I do apologize for my bad jokes. But beyond that, what we're seeing here is that you're able to get someone's phone number for something that they require, and it's so much easier because those little buzzers that they used to give out. The radius of those are horrible. I mean, you go 10 feet within the restaurant, and you're already out of range. You miss your table. You come back. They got to put you back in the line. It's a pain in the butt. With texting, you can go shopping. You can go around, you'll get a text. And the texting apps are normally smart to where they'll text you in time, like within 5 minutes, so because they know that you're walking around shopping. So they'll text you within 5 minutes of your table being ready so you can come in and walk from wherever it is that you're going. Now, that's great. At the same time, how can we integrate email to this? Well, a great way is you already have one piece of communication from them. You can, at the same time, or maybe even while they're waiting, say, hey, text us your email address to get specials and deals. Two main moments that I recommend doing this is one, while they're waiting. The reason being is I'm waiting. I may not want to go shopping, and you may give me something to do. So if you text me, hey, this, and make sure to be very clear on you're not going to bother them, but you may just say, hey, if you send us your email, we'll send you special deals that you may be able to use today. So I'll say, oh, that's pretty cool. So now I give you my email, that automatically goes through. You sign me up, and immediately I get an offer, maybe a 10% off my meal for today, and I can use that right away. The goal there is to make me super happy and to talk about your service all day, every day. Because now I'm going to tell all my friends, hey, go to this place. Not only do they have great food, but their customer service is great. Oh, and they sent me this email that gave me a 10% off. Make sure to give them your email when you sign in. And that's going to spread the word and have you engage. The other moment is after the visit, okay? And it's very important to make sure you do it the same day after the visit or very shortly after. Again, with the same purpose of, hey, if you liked your stay, that would be great. Please give us your email so we can send you offers and so forth. All right, so again, the difference between real-time content and your own time content. That is exactly where we stand with all these channels. If you are forcing your customer to go through one channel, let's say SMS, you're giving them the real-time content. I know it sounds really cool, real-time content, but your own time content allows the user to decide when and where they want to receive your message. And believe it or not, that really helps with their happiness towards your brand and company. If you force people to do things, we don't like it. Think of it when you call that automated message system and you're forced to go through a certain path. You hate that. You really do. You don't want to be forced. You want to get to your goal as soon as possible. Which is why, for example, for Benchmark, we only have two options. One for sales, two for support. And we have that to at least divvy you up to the right person as quickly as possible. So always make sure to give us the correct channels and give your audience the chance to choose. I know I've been saying this multiple times, and I'm probably going to say it a few more times, but it's really that important. Again, we live in a day that we have so many ways to communicate with. Let your subscribers use the way that they want to. So let's go forward with appointment reminders, all right? If you've been to the doctor recently or anywhere that they have appointments, these are also very common. It helps a lot. One thing that is very important when it comes down to appointment reminders is, think of how urgent your appointment is. Meaning, you may not want to send if I have an appointment scheduled 2 weeks from now, you may not want to send me a text message today because my appointment's in 2 weeks. But an email could make sense. And an email is going to help with branding. Also, an email has more real estate for you to add more things. Let's say that I'm going in for an appointment with, I don't know, for my teeth, right? You may on that email have a list of reminders of things that I may have to prepare or things to do or things not to do and stuff like that along with the reminder. Now, the day before, you may want to send this text message and say, hey, don't forget your appointment is tomorrow at this time. Call or text us to reschedule. And that's an immediate action and it works very, very well. And again, it helps with the overall journey that you're taking me through. So again, giving a choice can increase engagement. If you send an email and then a text message right before, you're increasing your engagement with your subscribers. Overall, you're creating great brand awareness. You're showing them that you have amazing customer service. And all of this in combination is going to have them talk very well about your company. As we all know, a lot of people will talk bad. It's really quick for a customer or subscriber to talk bad about you. It's really hard to get them to talk good things, right? So doing things like this will really help you do that. So again, a powerful combination. Here we have 4 main points that we can see here. Is that you really allowed to create a one-to-one relationship at a massive level. Meaning, if you do this right, you can automate a lot of this, but it feels like it's a one-to-one relationship. And in essence, will your customers find out that it's automated? Yeah, they probably will, because they may use the same tools that you do. But again, if you can do this well, if you can relate to me, if you send me the right messages at the right time, I'm gonna be so impressed because it shows that you took the effort to understand my needs. And that's why I'm going to you. That's why I chose this dentist out of the thousands that are out there, right? So please, does anyone have any questions so far? Any comments? Am I going too fast? Are we understanding this? Does anyone have anything they'd like to share with us so far? I had a really rowdy crowd at the beginning, and now we're all quiet. I must be doing a heck of a job then. Let's look at this stat right here. When email is coupled with mobile messaging, the response rate to a cross-channel campaign dramatically increases all the way up to 45%. That's almost a 50% increase. You're telling me that, let's say that your conversion rate is, let's say, 15%. You add multiple channels, you can increase up to a 45%. You're already 20%. That's not bad at all. I mean, any increase that I can take, especially if it's that much, that's killer, right? All right, so John Battelle, entrepreneur, journalist, professor, and author, once said that we all know the future is mobile. And that is absolutely true. I mean, as we saw, 68% here have a mobile device, a smartphone specifically. And I mean, if you look at any marketing tool, any marketing platform, whether it's creating emails, it's creating websites, it's whatever that is, they're all doing mobile. They're all focusing on mobile. It's funny if you look at the company Facebook. Facebook has always said that they focus on mobile first, then they build it for the desktop. That's very interesting, and it's absolutely true, and it's effective. And at the end of the day, you do have your phone on you all the time, and we're constantly checking it. And, there are some things that I feel more comfortable doing on a desktop than on a mobile device. But if that's the case for you, for example, we are an email marketing company. I don't expect you to go to receive an email from us, go to our website, sign up for an account, create an email, and do all that on your phone. You can do it. Trust me, you can. I've done it. But I don't expect you to do that. What do I expect you to do from a mobile device? Read a blog. I expect you to read a cool article. I expect you to maybe leave us a comment somewhere, stuff like that. So that is the type of material I need to promote to your mobile device, and I need to make sure that those pages are responsive. They can be read on any type of device, whether it's an iPhone, it's a Android, it's a tablet. No matter what that is, it's going to look amazing, and you're going to feel comfortable on it. Because guess what's going to happen is your browsers normally sync within your devices. So then when you go from your phone, from your desktop, you're like, hey, what was that cool email marketing company? I want to check them out. They had that really cool blog. I'm going to check them out now on my computer. That kind of stuff happens. So think of that as well. Don't try to sell the same thing through all channels. Make sure that you're accommodating to each channel for what it's used, right? Will we be doing a question that just came in? Will we be doing a review of benchmark tools to use SMS? Yes, we certainly will. I do have to apologize though. Benchmark email does not provide SMS texting. We do partner with a few companies though that do provide that. So I won't be able to show you how the SMS part works, but I'll most definitely show you how the email marketing side works. And of course, after the webinar, we will gladly share with you a few SMS companies that work well with benchmark email. Another question that came in is, will there be a replay? Yes, there certainly will. We are recording this, and hopefully we will launch this out tomorrow, okay? So if you missed anything, if you feel that you have to leave early, please don't leave early, but if you have to, you can. This is being recorded, no worries there. All right, so let's go over coupons, all right? Coupons, this is a very interesting thing that I believe works much better with email than with texting. Again, texting is something that works very well when it comes down to immediate actions. And this slide, it looks like we forgot to text here. My goodness, we are so unprepared for this. I'm so sorry. I feel very embarrassed now. This slide, I don't think this is even words right here. I was going to say Latin or something, but no, it doesn't even look like that. Well, we don't need the slide. I'll give you all the material here, and since it's being recorded, we can listen to it, right, instead of read it. So sorry about that. So when it comes down to coupons on the mobile platforms, coupons is a very, very good solution when it comes down to email marketing. I mean, there's companies that have entirely built off of coupons. Look at Groupon, Living Social, and the hundreds of other sites that are very similar to them. Solely all they do is sell you coupons. So when it comes down to email, it's really easy because it's really easy to save folders on your email with all the coupons specifically. It's really easy to go back to them. And most of these platforms have a mobile app that you can buy right then and there. And if you haven't bought a coupon with Groupon and you have maybe the new iPhone or the Androids that you can purchase with your thumb, my goodness, is that incredible. I bought a coupon the other day. It was for a camping van thing. And I clicked on the email. It took me to the Groupon app. And from the Groupon app, I said, buy now. I clicked buy now. And this little thing at the bottom said, swipe your thumb. And I said, oh, swipe my thumb. I swiped my thumb and said, purchased. You're done. I said, what? I didn't even realize that I bought it. That easy? That was crazy. And, I felt really good. I know some people that may feel like too fast. For me, I loved it. It felt so incredible. Now, when it comes down to texting, though, there are ways to do coupons with texting. The ways that I suggest doing coupons with texting, imagine that you are a restaurant, and let's say I haven't come back to your restaurant in, I don't know, a month or two. A lot of restaurants are starting to use these little rewards cards points that normally integrate with your texting services, in which when you go to the restaurant, you use the rewards cards to get discounts and so forth, and that's how they track how often you come in. So if they notice I haven't used my card in a few weeks, they may send me a text message saying, hey, come on in and get 10% off your next round of beers or your next pizza and so forth. And I'm going to want to come in, right? Another really cool strategy. Now, you need some advanced technology with this. I'll have to really find out where exactly, I'm sorry, what companies do this. But there are some SMS companies that integrate with your Wi-Fi system at your location. So imagine that you have a coffee shop, you have a restaurant, you have a store, whatever that is, and you offer Wi-Fi in exchange for their phone number. As soon as they sign up to your Wi-Fi, they are detected, and guess what? Our phones normally automatically connect when we go by a known Wi-Fi, right? So what happens is when I go by that store, it recognizes that I went by that store and can maybe send me a text message right then and there, or an email even saying, "Hey, come on in and get a 10% off." I'm like, whoa, that store is right around the corner. Perfect timing. Let's go get a beer, right? So that kind of stuff, I know it can get creepy. So always be sure to remember that. Don't creep your clients out. Don't creep your subscribers out. Don't make it look like you're following them. Just make it look like it's something that you would want to receive as well, right? So stats are coupons. Stats sent via smartphone app are redeemed at a rate of 8% to 16%. and 70% of consumers want coupons emailed to them for products they normally buy. All right, that is absolutely true. Again, I'm subscribed to the Best Buy newsletter. I can't tell you the last time I bought a item from Best Buy, but guess what? Again, when we talk about email marketing and how cheap it is, for not around, I think it was around Christmas, I bought a TV there. That was a $700 purchase. It was the TV, the stand, the mount wall, the speakers, everything. You name it, I bought it. $700, that's going to pay a lot of their email marketing. That's just one client, right? And it was all from the email. I didn't walk by their store. I barely see ads that they have. I don't really watch TV that often, meaning I bought the TV for other purposes, but I don't watch like cable, so I don't see their ads there. So email is a really, really effective way for them to reach out to me, where if we calculate the cost that it has for me, it's probably costing them pennies per email to send me versus a TV commercial that costs thousands. They can't really track the audience of it, and the overall return is very hard because you have to use special coupon codes and say this at the door or do this or do that. I have to remember to do all that stuff. With email, it's all tracked and much easier to follow through with, all right? So as I said, this is a short webinar. We're going to open up for questions now. Please, anyone that has questions, feel free to ask. As I mentioned, I'm the marketing director for Benchmark Email, the email marketing company. I am very savvy when it comes down to email. And with SMS, I can defend myself. So please shoot out any questions. If I can't answer it now, I will be sure to get you an answer as soon as possible. I see excellent comments that are coming through. I really appreciate that, and I do apologize for the slides that were not completed. So thank you very much all for joining us here today.